What's next for the Celtics?
You go ahead first.
What's next for the Celtics is nothing much. They're gonna run it. They should just run it back one more year. No need to blow things up and just falling for the whole trade Jalen Brown and we're gonna do this. No, you might as well just run it back one more year. Same thing. Make a few small adjustments. Then after the next previous season, it would be more realistic to trade Jalen Brown off and try to live off of Jason Tatum moving forward. I think you guys probably got to figure out what you're going to do for this aging group because they got Al Horford who's kind of aging. You got Robert Williams who has a lot of injuries, stomach virus and foot, knee, all type of things like that. So I think it's no point. I don't think that you're getting anything back out there trading Jalen Brown that gets you back to the Eastern Conference Finals or even wins the finals because just like the Lakers, the Boston is the Lakers of the East, highly prestigious franchise. Their goal is to win a chip every year. I don't see what would be the point for Boston trading Jalen Brown, especially with the way the contracts line up. It would be more advantageous to keep Jalen Brown. It'll be easier to It'll be easy to trade him off next year, especially with the way the contract's coming up. And then there's no point to keeping Jalen Brown after the previous year because those two, Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, would eat up too much of the salary. So I don't think it's time to trade him just yet. I think they run it back one more time.
Wouldn't you think it'd be easier now because no team can give him a 295, but they can give him a cheaper contract?
I don't really know too much about the numbers of that right now, but I thought it would have been higher because he made all NBA team.
That like Brian Windhorst said that the Supermax is supposed to be for your current team to keep you, so you can get more money for staying with your team. But let's say he gets traded and goes somewhere else. I think he'll be able to sign. I think it's around 4 years, 180 something. So that's way cheaper for a team that trades for him instead of it being with the Celtics. I'm not saying they should trade him, but it's like if they do, because they're like if Jalen Brown accepted, he's going to get 50, 60 some million, 50 plus across 60 million for the next 5 years. The same with Jason Tatum. He's going to get.
But they don't have to pay him a supermax.
I mean, they don't have to, but that's what he want. That's what he's going to want though, because I made all NBA. I had basically a career year. How come I can't get the Supermax? That's what he's probably thinking.
I think the way the NBA is setting the rules up is they're making it easier for management to understand everyone doesn't need to be paid such absurd high numbers. I think it go back to what Draymond Green was saying about how we're going to be seeing a lot of, he said bums, but I don't want to say it just like that. He said we're going to see a lot of quote unquote bums getting paid a lot of money. Not saying Jalen Brown is a bum, but Jalen Brown isn't a supermax player. I think even if you qualify for being a supermax, you're going to find yourself in a situation like, well, we're not going to pay you that. And I think another team that might upset him. I think they probably offer something good for it, but I think they have to be realistic. I don't think he's a supermax player. Even if he do qualify for it, Jalen Brown is not a supermax player.
I mean, then if that's the case, then he's gonna probably say, "Hey, if you think I'm not worth 295, trade me somewhere."
What do you say?
I mean, I think he's not a supermax. I think he's probably what that other offer was, 185. I think that's good for him because he's a borderline 2. Like that's just what he is. He's not. But maybe, hey, I don't know. Maybe if he goes somewhere, let's say they trade Dame, right? And let's say Jalen Brown goes to the Blazers and he's the guy. Maybe he does have a better year than he did than this past year. I mean, you never know because he's in the shadow of Jason Tatum. That's just facts. He is in the shadow.
But that's the thing. Even being in the shadow of Jason Tatum, it's never anything that make you. The only time you say, well, he's a better closer, might be a little bit better clutch player than Jason Tatum. But when it comes to just looking at Jalen Brown game, he's not a superstar. I don't think he's ever in a conversation of being a superstar. I think whenever you bring him up with being just as good as Tatum, it's more so in a situation of being a closer, being a go-to guy to end it. And I think that's what a lot of second guys are. A lot of second guys are just because it was Kyrie was the second guy. He's a closer. Chris Middleton, he's the closer. Sometimes Dame was the closer and the guy, but I don't. If you get a Jaylen Brown on the Portland Trailblazers, he's still not Supermax worthy because of Jaylen Brown with that core. Let's just say just Dame for Jaylen. That same team, he doesn't do anything for your playoff contentions. That's not Supermax worthy even there. He's not a superstar.
Supermax there.
I'm saying, but no, I'm just saying, like, say he was in Portland and he's that guy. He's still not Supermax worthy. There,
so he's not worth 185.
He's not worth anything. 200 million? No, he's
195 is good. Let's see, four divided by 185. Oops.
I'm saying 2 million. 200 million.
That's 46 million. I think that's good for him.
That's good for him, but I don't think he's nowhere near that 230, that 200, that 220, that 215. He's just not.
Hey, I don't think so, but that's just what the Supermax is for him. It's 290. Jason Tatum is going to get 315 next year. He's going to sign that. There ain't no question. But the Celtics have a choice. You sign Jaylen Brown. You know, y'all going to be in cap hell in the next couple of years down the line.
They're not going to sign him. It doesn't make sense. The way the CBA is setting up, they're making teams realize, like,
hey, then they probably just gonna say, hey, we're just gonna trade because we don't think you're worthy. I mean, they ain't gonna say that to his face, but you know that they're gonna say that, like, hey, we don't think he should get 290 million. And then but then it's like, okay, you have Jason Tatum, but now you have to surround him with other players. That trade that I sent. That little Titus Jones and Desmond Bane, the trade wasn't bad. It wasn't really that bad. Like, obviously, Desmond Bane isn't at the Jaylen Brown couch. But I feel like it's just more about
Tatum better.
But it's more about Titus Jones. They need a true point guard.
They have a true point guard. They don't use him right.
I think Malcolm Brogdon, I'm starting to think, like, with the Celtics, that's just not him. I think they really use him more at the two. And because Jason Tatum handles the ball more than him.
I'm gonna say that's coaching. That's coaching issues when it comes to that, because they're letting Marcus Smart run the offense when it should be Malcolm Brogdon. Like I said in the private conversation. What'd you say?
I was about to say, but them years when Malcolm Brogdon, he was low key the ball handler all the time. But the thing with the Celtics is you have Malcolm Brogdon, you have Jason Tatum, you have Marcus Smart, all three of them. They handle the ball majority of the time than Malcolm Brogdon. It's hard to say, like, okay, Jason Tatum, you're not going to handle the ball, let's just say 60% of the time. We're going to give it to Malcolm Brogdon more. It's hard to tell your best player that.
I think it's hard. It depends on who's telling you. You may say it's hard, but some people will say it's. I think with a coach, the previous coach they just had, Ime Udoka, I don't think that would have been hard for him to say. I don't think it would have been hard for Coach Pop to say. I don't think Eric Spoelstra have a hard time. Ty Lue have a hard. It's hard, but I think there are people out there, coaches out there that do know they're comfortable with conflict to handle those situations. To say, we need to go through an 82-game season, getting more comfortable with the ball out of your hands, with a playmaker setting you up so you can take easier, better shots. I think with Malcolm Brogdon running the offense instead of Marcus Smart, like I said, obviously you're running your offense through a more defensive player whose offense is predicated on tricking the refs, drawing fouls. That's just simply not. That's not how you initiate offense, especially when he's going to have the ball in his hand with that 9 second left. Sometimes I don't want my guy trying to draw a foul, trying to trick the refs, and then when he is fouled, the refs is looking the other way because you've been playing sour. I just think that with Desmond Bane, he complements Jason Tatum better because I think Jaylen Brown plays too close to Jason Tatum's style to truly work next to him. Like, I think it's a nice 1-2 punch, but I think Desmond Bane's style of play is more of a step back. So I think it flows. He's a much better shooter too. And I like but they both defense decent. But I think Desmond Bane, because he isn't such a dominant ball handler and needed, I like him next to Tatum more. You get what I'm saying?
I do. I'm trying to find it was showing something about their all their contracts. But the Celtics have a decision. Do you want, like, if like I said, the ceiling for the Celtics is Eastern Conference Finals or the Finals. That's their ceiling. If you think Jaylen Brown can always get you there, I say resign him. But if you think it's not worth it, it's not worth just going to the Eastern Conference Finals and potentially getting bounced every time, I say don't sign him because, bruh, that's $600 million just from two guys. Two guys. Then you're going to be in cap hell. And do they want to really do that? Do they want to be in cap hell forever?
What's your? I see you just evaluating the two choices. What's your stance? What do you do?
I think they just resign him. I think they just give him the max. I really think they just give it to him.
That would leave them with like $70 million to fill out the rest of their roster.
Hey, they know that.
That's damn near just two people.
They know that though. They know that. But think about it though. Like I think because the first couple of years, their things are only like in the low 50s. Like they're both gonna get paid in the low 50s. So at that time, you're gonna have probably this year, next year. So you probably have maybe 2-3 years to see what's going on. If we think we can, if we can't go nowhere, I think they just gonna trade them. But I think as of right now, I think just give them the money. Just give them the money.
No, my stance is.
I thought you said they resign them.
I think I say run it back one more year, but I say trade him after. I say let him go after that. I'm not signing him to that big contract. I'm not giving him the supermax. No, I don't even think I don't even think Jaylen Brown wants to be in Boston. He his interviews. He doesn't look comfortable. He doesn't look happy. His remarks about trying to start in business and buying houses and just moving around. He faces a lot of adversity. He's pretty much just subtly saying that Boston is racist, just like we all know. Boston is a racist city. The white people there, their racism is more subtle, and that's really irritating. They don't just flat out say, I don't like you. They just gaslight you. And I do think he wants to be, he's from the South. I think he wants to be in a place that's more black, that's more culturally catered towards black people. He seems to be more pro-black in his subtle stances and what he say and who he backs. I don't think he wants to be in the city of Boston. He's having a hard time with housing, businesses, and just the comfort of living. He's not happy in the city. And then he also said they say one thing to you in your face and then they say something different behind your back. And he confronted the management about he called Brad Stevens personally about him being in trade rumors for Kevin Durant. And that truly upset him because then the same thing happened again coming up at the deadline. I don't think he's appreciative of how they treat him, his remarks, how he's living. It just looks like the relationship with me, like he wants to end it nice and peaceful, but he doesn't want to be there anymore.
See, this is the thing I'm looking at. Okay, so next year they only have Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford, Brogdon, Smart, White, Robert Williams, and Gallinari really under contract. The rest of these are just low contracts that they can just get rid of. But then after that, they only gonna have 1, 2, 3. They only got 6 players. Then if you sign them to that deal, they're gonna be stuck. They can't do it. They don't have the money. I mean, but he earns that money though. He earned it. Like he earned the $295. But it's up. It's real. I think Boston is gonna offer him that. But it's gonna be up to him, like you said. You say he doesn't want to be there. It's gonna be up to him if he doesn't accept it or not. Because if let's say he doesn't accept it, I think you gotta trade him. Because I don't want a player that technically don't want to be there.
Wow, my question for you about signing him. Why am I signing a guy to a supermax that I'm always putting in a trade? Wouldn't that make it harder for me to trade him then?
He won't get the supermax. I said that.
But I'm saying if you said give him the money, okay, not that you said you're not giving him a supermax, you're just giving him some money, right? You're giving him the 180.
I'm saying like just give him like I think they're going to give him the supermax.
Wait, that's what I think. So that's what I'm saying. Why would I give a guy a supermax that's always popping up in my trades, that I'm always offering in trades?
Don't ask me. I don't know. But no, though. All I'm saying is this. Okay, let me start off. Jaylen Brown, I think the Celtics are going to give him the supermax. I think they're going to offer it to him. It's going to be up to him if he wants to accept it or not. If he doesn't accept it, there won't be supermax won't exist no more. It just won't exist because if he gets traded, he's going to lose 100-some million less. So he's going to be 185. So technically, like I did the math, that's 40-some million a year. That's not bad. Like let's say the Blazers, that's not bad. So it wouldn't matter. And let's just say he goes to the Blazers. You know, could they be in? I think they could be in the play-in. Honestly, I think they right there with the Thunder. Playing.
You might as well go to the Rockets.
Why would I go there?
Because the Rockets is going to have a big turnaround. And I think he wants to go to a city where, he can be around black people. Isn't he from Texas? Isn't he from Houston or Atlanta?
He's from Atlanta.
From Atlanta?
I think Georgia.
Yeah, I think he'd go to the Rockets or the Hawks.
I wouldn't. I mean, does he just keeps them in the play-in spot?
I don't know.
I feel like it just depends on, like, does he really care about the money? Or does he care about, and to him, probably his legacy? It's up to him.
He did.
It's a hard decision. It's hard to turn down 295. It's really hard.
I don't think for a guy like him, he just had remarks about talking about legacy. He said people are always comparing me and Jason Tatum and about like how what ceiling we can reach. But he said someone asked him how he feel about always hearing that. He said, it doesn't matter. Our legacies are always going to be tied together and cemented. It doesn't matter. It's like for him. But I just feel like the type of mind and type of guy that he is, I can see him turning the money down and choosing happiness. Like, even if he turned down $295 million, I think he's the type of guy that say, like, just because I ain't getting $295 million from this people don't mean I can't go out and still make that money. He's like, I can still be happy with 150, 170 million, and I can still go off and venture and make money in business and trust myself. Like, I think he's the type of guy that's like, he's not greedy. Like, if you can't find happiness in life without signing for 295 million, you got bigger problems.
I agree. I agree with you on that. There's a chance he might want to say, hey, I'm cool with 180. I'm cool with 185. I'm cool with that.
And a happy living.
I don't want to be in. He wants to be the guy. I think he truly wants to be that guy. And he has a chance. He potentially has a chance. You just ask for a trade, or you just wait till this summer. But Celtics is not gonna do that. They're not gonna wait. They're gonna offer to him. If he says, hey, I don't want to do this, they think about trading, because you're not gonna lose him for nothing. You're not gonna lose a star player for nothing.